Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away and happy Monday. As you can see, scattered around my workstation here, I've got the alien build from Hachette Partworks and Agora Models. So today I'm going to be doing pack 8, and as you can see, this is where we're up to at the moment. So this is a leg. Looks big, doesn't it? Quite funky to get some of this stuff together because it does use a funny skin-like material over an internal plastic shell. And this is the first arm, and this is what we completed in the last pack. And today, we're actually going to be doing the next arm as well, which means we're going to be completing the hand as well. Now, I have pre-glued a lot of the magnets in this, so when I come to those sections, I'll show you exactly how that looks. But if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, and you'll be able to get that all the way from pack 1, but without further ado, let's get cracking. So I'm starting with stage 53. As you see, they come in these paper bags here, and it looks like we've got another section of the hand here, which I'm guessing is going to match what we finished the last pack off. Some finger bits here, and in here I think I've got some screws. Now I've already got some of the skin and stuff that I'm using in this stage, but I've already put the magnets on the interiors and on this skin section here. Now this skin section, to stick the magnets down, I don't use super glue. I actually use Storm Shore, which is like a flexible glue, but it does take 24 hours to dry, which is why I've actually put them in already, just to save time on that. In fact, the first thing it wants me to do in this stage is to put the magnets in there. So I've done that. Let's put that to one side. Now I'm using a different kind of glue that I thought I'd try out this time. This one is Gorilla Glue. It's a CA glue. It will either come out through the nozzle, or if you unscrew it, it's also got a brush as well. It's like a dual action thing, this is. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting the internal fingers on. So I am just going to dot some of this glue just in some spots here. So when the fingers are in, they're not going to come out again. And it's just a case of lining up the lugs to the holes and pushing them in. So that's one, that one's two, and we've just got this one on this side over here. So the fingers are in place. I'm then going to be taking what we created last time and putting these together like this. Now we already put a connecting tab in there, so that's going to go over the top just like this. Push that in. They give us another connecting tab here to put on the bottom, and then it's just a case of screwing this all into place with these black screws that come in this stage. Now, you know what? Even though I put the tab in there, I haven't screwed it in because they don't actually want us to screw it in this stage. A bit strange, but I will leave it like that because that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 54, let's open this up. We've got the palm of the hand, and we've also got some of this piping again, which is going to go on the skin that you just saw in the last stage. And the first one I'm going to be putting in is A1. This is going to be going into the slots just, oops, this way around here, which does mean I've just got to cut off the end here. And then once again, get my glue, and I'm just going to put that into this section here. And give that enough time to cure as I push that into place. I'm going to do exactly the same with the other piece here, which is labelled A2. And that's just going to go along the other side. Now, as I said regarding this, now that's in place, we do want to put the magnets in the section that's going to go inside this. And I've already done that here, as you can see. So quite simply, when this goes on, it's actually just going to fit on that way, and you should see it actually holds the whole skin up. I'll explain why we use magnets in a second, because I thought they didn't do anything, but they actually do something. I'll put that to one side, and then I'm going to be creating one of the hinge joints here. And for this hinge joint, what I'm going to do is just put a pin through that centre hole, and this is what the pin's looking like here. It can go in either way, so it fits in just like that. Now once that pin's in, we're going to be putting that into these little mounting points here. But we also want to make sure that these tabs that we can see either side go inside this part of the ring here. And that way, when they're in, this is why it didn't want you to put this bit in first. I think I made that mistake on the other hand, actually. But as you can see, when that's in, it's going to fit nice and flush in there now, like that. Can't believe I did the same mistake twice. Okay, I'm then just going to take this bracket, which is going to go over the top here and hold all of that into place. And I'm holding that in with some of these black screws. So it's taking 2 of these screws. One there. And just one here. And now I'm at the stage where I can now put this tab into the centre there. Just like that. And again, using the black screws, I'm going to hold that into place as well. 2 screws again. All that's left to do then is to take the palm of the hand, and I am going to glue each lug point on here. Just line up, doing a test fit at the moment, just to see how this goes. It's going to go in like this. As a matter of fact, when I did the other one, I don't think I glued this into place because it actually held really tight. So I am going to do that now and see how this goes in. Now, if you think you're going to have an easy time putting this into place, you're mistaken. This is going to take a long time. So I'm going to get this in and we'll come back to it. I tend to find if you line up the 2 down the bottom, then it actually lines up the rest of them for you. As you can see, that's nice and flush in place. And with those 2 complete, that's all there is to do in that stage. So, stage 55. I've got these metal pieces here and a bit more piping, as you can see. But they have also gave me this bit of the skin here, which once again, as you can see, I've already put all the magnets in. So because I've already done that, I can move actually on to the next bit, and that is to bring over what we were just working on in the last stage. Just take that middle bit section out again, because where we put this piping in here, we've got some more piping just to put into this side here. And these are labelled A4 and A5. If I have it this way round, A4's going this side, A5's going this side. So I'll get that in now. We do have a little locating lug on there. And I'll hold that into place until it's cured. It doesn't need long, probably about 30 seconds. And there you go, when that piping's in, that should look like that. And once again, I can just put this back on where it goes. Just like that. Put that to one side, and I've got these 2 metal sections now that I want to piece together. Looking like this. So this one's just going to go over the top of this one here. And this time, it's held in with these silver screws. And I'm going into metal, so I'll put this in some oil. And let's get that nice and tight. So now that's one complete unit. And with everything I've got here, that's all there is to do in this stage. So here, once again, I've got stage 56, which has only got some pipes in it and some screws. But it does mean that I've got a lot of bits which I've already dealt with again. And this time I've got this piece looking like that, which again, already put some magnets in. And I've got this piece looking just like that, which once again, the magnets are already in here. So with the skin that we had last time that I already put the magnets in, this section's actually just going to go in there like that. And as you can see, that lifts that up, no problems at all. That's when it wanted me to put the magnets in here, which I've already done. And now I'm going to be clamping together the 2 sections that we've created before by just taking them out of their skin, like that. Putting in the hand joint that we just created before, which just actually slips in here like that. And then closing it off by putting this over the top like this. Now that's going to be held in with these black screws. And we need 6. So we've got 2 here, 2 here, and 2 just down the end. And this is the last screw I'm just putting in here. And that's the internal arm with the hand on the end. Put that to one side and bring over the skin that I said I've already put the magnets in, because we've got to put some piping in here. So I'm going to take the piping that says A5, snip off the end. The locating lug on one side is going to dictate which way round it goes. So this is going to go on here like this. So I'm going to get that glued into place. So that's the first one in. And then just following this around, I'm going to put A6 here and A7 here. These clamps can be invaluable for helping to keep these into place. And just for a second, I'll leave that like that to dry. Now in the instructions, as I said, it does want you to put all the magnets in. I've already done that. But with these sections here complete, that's all there is to do in that stage. So moving swiftly on to stage 57, get this open, and as you can see, I've just got 2 pipes and this little section here. I've also got another bit of skin, which I've already put to one side, and you've guessed it, it's because I've already put the magnets in. But once again, I am going to be putting the piping in here, and the first one I need is A8. Snip that off. I've kept that magnet there because it's actually keeping this one in place while it dries, because this actually fell off. And this one starts from the middle, so it's going to go into this section just here to fill that up. Let's get some glue in there. And again, I use my clamps just to help keep that into place. And then A9 is just going to continue that on this other side. And again, I'm going to let the clamps do the work on that. I will take this magnet off in a second. That's not stuck on. The reason that's kept on is because obviously, as I said, it's keeping this one in, so it's just the magnetism holding that into place. And because all the magnets are already in here, the last thing I need to put in is just this section here. It is shaped so it can only go in one way. It's going to go in this way just like that there, which means again I'm going to need to put some glue in here, and I'll just let that sit and dry. Put that to one side, and it wants me to actually put all the magnets in this section now. And again, I've done all that. You can see how this saves time by doing the magnets first. But that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 58, we're going to start working on the shoulder joints here. And this is what one of the shoulder joints look like here. And guess what? I've put the magnets in already, as you can see. I'm going to be bringing over the skin that I got here with all the magnets in. Just check this fits into place, just like that. And what you do then is you actually glue these magnets into place, as they're going to be held by the magnets that are already on this section. But as you can see, I've already done that. So that's already in there. I'll just show you how all those magnets should be orientated. Excellent. Now I can actually just take this section out. That was just like a test fit, because I'm going to be putting this joint half in here, and it actually goes in halfway, just around about here. And then the other half that we've got to this is going to be going onto the other side here. So we are going to need to put some magnets just into these bits here. I haven't actually done that yet, so let's get some glue on these. So it's only 2 magnets to start off with on this side. And there we go. That's in that side. You see, the magnet should hold that in there. I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side, because these are eventually going to go on the side just like this. So I'll put some glue just into these points here. I can actually take that out. So that I can line this up. And get the magnets in there. And then knowing how that's going to be, with this section going to be going over the top of this section as well, we just need to line up the magnets on this side here as well. And once you've done that, that should be all the magnets in place. We don't actually need the skin at the moment now. What we do need is just these 2 parts to put together again, just like this, and they're held together with these silver screws. And I'll just screw these into place. There you go. That's another one done. That's all there is to do in that stage. So the penultimate stage of this pack sees us putting together 2 more of these metal sections here. So I'll quickly do that first. And then we're going to start piecing together the whole arm again. And there you go. That one's looking like that. And we're now ready, as I said, to push everything together. So I need the arm first, or what we've created the arm. I'm going to need these 2 washers, which are going to go here and here on each side. Now on this side here, I want this joint that we've got there. Put the washer in here all the way down, and then put that through the hole on this side. Turn it over and do exactly the same thing for the joint on the other side here. So that goes on there. And again, get that in the hole. It should be a nice clip fit just like that. Now to hold that together, we've got a nut and bolt here. So the nut is just going through this side, and the bolt actually has a shaped section just down the bottom there that I can put that in. And it's just held in with a normal screwdriver. So once I've lined that up, I'll get my screwdriver and make that as tight as I can get it, because I don't want this to be, oh, let's use my smaller one. I don't want this to be a floppy joint. So you see, that's nice and tight, that's in place. All I'm going to do then is hold this whole thing together with 4 screws just into these holes here. These are the black screws. Now at the moment, this stage was actually stress-free. I think we're doing all the magnets already and everything's sticking down fine. Not too bad actually, but as you can see, we've now created this much of the arm, and that's all there is to do in the stage. So let's move on to the last stage. So stage 60 is all going to come together now. As you can see, we've got the top sections of the arm here. We've got this sheath of skin here, this little section here, and in this bag, I believe, we have got another nut and bolt and some black screws. So first things first, I'm going to take this sheath of skin, and as you can see, we've got some lugs there. We've got some holes in this sheath, so we're going to match up the holes with these lugs, one on this side and one on this side here. They're going to be held in with some of these flange screws that I've got here, looking like that. And I'll get these sides in first. Perfect. Turn it over, and then just line up the lugs on this side, 1 and 2. And again, flange screws to keep that in. And as you can see here, I've got some cable ties, because now I'm going to be gluing this section. See, it has got some pegs on this side onto this section just here like that. So, get my glue. Make sure this has got a generous amount on here, because out the whole build, I think doing this bit here is the actual hardest thing, because it does take a while, and you do want to get this in place, and you don't want it to, you don't want the bond to break. There's just so many factors on here. So that's why I use cable ties, to ensure that this is going to dry and not move. So get that over, and I'll get my first cable tie in this side, just like that. Just put them in loosely. Like that, and then again pinch it together where it needs to be. And tighten that cable tie up. And I'll put one just at the end here as well. So that's looking like that. I'm going to let that dry. Now we're going to be putting the forearm skins on. Now this one, this is why we got magnets, because it's going to help you line it up. And as we stretch the skin over here and here, it's going to restrict the movement, so that it's not going to part these bits here. So let's put them where they go. So this one's going to go kind of like that. You see, it's sort of moved itself into place. And then on the other side, this one, as you can see, it's just going to clip itself on. It's just going to go in there. Now, because we've got a former on these sections now, it does mean that I can actually glue this together. So I'm going to start with one end down here, and I'm going to be working my way along the whole section there to get this into place. Now, this bit of the skin goes over the top of this bit that we put in here. So if I start at this end, before I finish at this end, I do want to cut these cable ties off. And the easiest way to do this is just a section at a time and let it dry. So you get a nice seam there. Now you'd be tempted to glue this side, but we don't actually do that at this stage. What we're going to be doing next is just this sheath that's going around here. And that looks just like this. And basically where we've got the seam where we've just joined it there, this is actually going to have the seam going on the other side. And we do have these locating pegs again. So I'm going to do half each side, which means putting just some glue in the hole and then some glue just around this section here. Let's do that half. The thicker end of this goes towards the hand. And I'll just hold that into place for a second. Once we've done one side, we're just going to do exactly the same to the other side here. And again, hold that into place. There's a lot of waiting around in this stage, just gluing things in. And there we go, that's in there. Now this is going to be going eventually just over the top of this. But what I've got to do now is join these two sections up. And the reason why I wanted to let that dry is because we are going to be stretching the skin quite a lot to get these two parts together. As you can see, I'm really pulling this together here. And again, this is why we had the magnets in here. The magnets are helping us do that. So really don't be afraid to pull the skin as tight as you can get it, so we can get it over the join line here. So what I'm going to do is I'll get this seam done. I'm probably going to have loads of cable ties on this to keep this into place. And we'll come back, we'll see how that looks. Now I've just cut back so you can actually see what I'm doing here. Obviously I'm following this line here and I'm doing a little bit at a time. So I'm actually just getting me cable tie here, putting it on loose, just like that, and then pulling the skin so that it meets the other side, just like that, and then tightening it up, little bits at a time. And I'm going to leave that to dry, but you get the idea. That's how that seam should look. This area should be open so that we eventually will be able to get one of these sections in there, but that's just that part of the arm completed. All I've got left to do then is take this shoulder joint and put this sheath down here like that. Just keep that in place. And then I'm just going to be creating the hinge joint here. And to do that, I'm piecing these two parts together, putting a nut in the top and a bolt from the bottom. So that's in these packs here. I'll get the bolts in first, put a nut in this side and screw this up. So that's that joint now one complete piece. And this is going to be going over the top of that sheath that we just put in here, in this direction, just like that. And that is all there is to do in this stage. That's all there is to do in this pack. So we're not actually quite finishing the arm yet. We do have these plates that are eventually going to go in. Obviously we've got this drying at the moment, and I do have the skin that we're going to have to put together for the shoulder joint. Now I've said it before, this isn't an easy build, and the reason it isn't is because you really do need to take your time on it. If I hadn't have put those magnets in first, we were going to have a hard time with it. And believe me, this is going to take a good couple of hours before I even consider taking these cable ties off here. And then I think what I do then is I just go down the seams here. And if anything has come apart or it just needs a little bit pushing together, like just this bit here, I just need to pull that bit together. I'll do that once the rest of this is dry. But obviously, this is the other arm done. If I just show you the arm that we did before, that is how it's going to look like when it's finished. And it's quite a weighty thing as well, this is. So looking good, isn't it? But that was the last pack of the Alien that we've done. Hopefully the next one will be here. Actually, I've got it here for the new year. It's going to be in the new year, so in January. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.